Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Scott Show. This day in history. This is our day in history channel. We are going 365 days to tell you guys what happened when. This day in history. Let's do it up. It is the new year. We're starting this party right. It's the new year, the first day on the Gregorian calendar. There are 364 days remaining in this year. I am nice every single one of them, maybe except for Black Friday. It is New Year's Day. Really cool stuff. So it's the official part of the year. It became the official part of the year for the Holy Roman Empire in 1544, in France in 1574, in Great Britain in 1752. Interesting stuff. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go to the events. We're even going to go to BC. For the first time this year, we're going to go to BC. Because it's the first time we're doing this damn show. First time this year. Alright, so we got, in 153 BC, Roman consuls begin their year in office. There you go. 45 BC, the Julian calendar takes effect as the civil calendar of the Roman Empire, establishing today as the first day of the year. Okay. In AD, now we're only 2,000 some odd years ago. AD 69, Roman legions in Germania Superior refused to swear loyalty to Galba. They rebel and proclaim Velius as emperor. And there you go. Yeah, those darn Roman legions, they always cause problems. Alright, so we move on. We're going to move 1,000 years ahead of time and go to Hungary, where the Grand Prince Stephen I of Hungary is named the first king by Pope Sylvester II. There you go. Then we're going to go 500 years past that, 501 to be exact. And in 1502, the present-day location of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is first explored by the Portuguese. And apparently they must have had a big-time party down there and drank all the, sugar cane, vodka, whatever that was, cabanera. It was great. Good stuff. As I drink my sugar drink there. All right. In 1515, King Francis I of France acceded to the French throne. So the French elected Francis as their first French. Lots of F's there. Alright, 1527, Croatian nobles elect Ferdinand I of Austria as the King of Croatia in the Parliament of Sen. 1600, Scotland begins their numbered year on January 1st instead of March 25th. So on March 25th, we will say, hey, they did this. Interesting stuff. In 1651, Charles II is crowned King of Scotland. There you go, only 51 years after they decided to say, hey, we think the 1st of January is the first of the year. Alright, in 1772, the first traveler's checks, which are used in 90 European cities, are issued by the London Credit Exchange Company. In 1773, the hymn known as Amazing Grace, then entitled 1 Chronicles 17, chapter 17, verse 16-17, is first used to accompany a sermon led by John Newton, who is not related in any way probably to Olivia Newton-John, but whatever works, in the town of Buckinghamshire, England. Only Buckinghamshire, England. In 1776, the American Revolutionary War, Norfolk, Virginia is burned by the combined Royal Navy and Continental Army action. In 1781, 1,500 soldiers under General Wayne's rebel command against the Continental Army. They rebel against the Continental Army's winter camp. It's the Pennsylvania Line Mutiny of 1781. 1788, the first edition of the Times in London, previously the Daily Universal Register, is published. In 1801, the Legislative Union of the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland is formed together to form the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. In 1804, French rule ends in Haiti. Haiti becomes the first black republic and the second independent country in North America after the United States. There you go. In 1808, the United States bans the importation of slaves. In 1822, the Constitution is officially adopted in Greece. In 1833, the United Kingdom claims sovereignty over the Falkland Islands. In 1877, Queen Victoria is proclaimed as Empress of India. In 1892, Ellis Island begins to process immigrants into the United States. In 1898, New York annexes land from surrounding counties, creating the city of Greater New York. Its four initial boroughs, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx, are joined by Staten Island to create the modern city of five. Nigeria becomes a British protectorate in 1901. The first college football bowl game was played today, with Michigan and Stanford playing in Pasadena in 1902. Today they will have another game in Pasadena. The Rose Bowl will be fun. In 1908, for the first time, the ball drops in Times Square. So, it started yesterday, ends today, there you go. In 1912, the Republic of China is established. In 1923, British railways are grouped into the Big Four, which they had there. In 1929, the former municipalities of Point Grey, British Columbia, and South Vancouver, British Columbia, are added to Vancouver. In 1932, the United States Post Office Department issues a set of 12 stamps commemorating the 200th year, not 2000 because that's a little different, 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. So that's cool. Alcatraz in 1934 becomes a United States federal prison. 1934, Nazi Germany passes the law of prevention of genetically deceased offspring, which is just whacked. And of course, they were doing a lot of crazy things. The Declaration of the United Nations in 1942 is signed by 26 nations. In 1945, the Luftwaffe launches Operation Bodenplatte, a massive but failed attempt to knock out the Allied air power with a single blow, but they failed miserably. 1947, the occupation zones in Germany after World War II merge, the American and British ones, to form the Bi-Zone, which later becomes part of West Germany. 1947, the Canadian Citizenship Act of 1946, converting British subjects into Canadian citizens. The Prime Minister becomes the first Canadian citizen, and for a little while there, he was the only one. The British Railway Network is nationalized to form British Railways in 1948. 1945, a ceasefire takes place in Kashmir 1 minute before midnight. The war between India and Pakistan stops accordingly. In 1956, Sudan gets independence from Egypt and the United Kingdom. In 1960, Cameroon achieves independence from France and the United Kingdom as well. In 1971, cigarette advertisements are banned on American TV. That's very interesting news. In 1978, the Air India Flight 855 Boeing 747 crashes into the sea, killing 213 people. 1981, Greece is admitted into the European Community. 1984, the original American Telephone and Telegraph Company is divested of its 22 Bell Systems Company as a result of the settlement in 1974 antitrust suit against AT&T. 1985, the first British mobile phone call is made by Michael Harrison to his father, Sir Ernest Harrison, the chairman of Vodafone. In 1990, David Dinkins is sworn in as the first black mayor of New York City. 1994, the North American Free Trade Agreement begins in effect. 1995, the World Trade Organization goes into effect. In 1998, Russia begins to circulate new rubles to stem inflation and promote confidence. In 1999, the euro is introduced in 11 member nations. In 2002, it becomes legal tender in 12 of the member states. 66 people died in a nightclub fire in Bangkok, Thailand in 2009. 60 people were killed, 200 injured in a stampede on the Ivory Coast after celebrations happened for the New Year. In 2016, address downtown Dubai burns over midnight as the New Year is rung in. And all the way back, now two things happened last year in 2017. Nightclub attack in Istanbul, Turkey, kills at least 39 and injures 60 others. And Antonio Guterres, who is Portuguese, was elected the the Secretary General of the United Nations. Born this day in 1431, Pope Alexander the Sixth was born this day. Magnus the First, such a strong name. 1470. That's awesome. William Gamble, General Gamble, born 1818. Lou Fields, born 1867. Pierre de Coubertin, who founded the International Olympic Committee, was born this day, 1863. There you go. We are actually going to try to find here the oldest currently living person on this list. And it looks like it is... Winner is... Ernest Rawlings, American soldier and politician, the 106th governor of South Carolina, born in 1922. So happy birthday to Ernest, still with us, according to Wikipedia. So there you go. That's what we do. Larry L. King, born this day, 1929. Not to be confused, because sometimes it does get confusing when they have close names like that. Let's say Tony Knowles. Tony Knowles was born this day, 1943, 7th governor of the great state of Alaska. Always got to add in a wrestling personality. Happy birthday to Jimmy Hart, which is awesome. Jimmy Hart with the big megaphone. Happy birthday to you, sir. Alright, Morgan Fisher Happy birthday to you. Born 1950. Amazing stuff. Bob Menendez, born 1954. Precious, another wrestler and manager. Some of the cool stuff happened in that day. A lot of fun, a lot of great time. So it was quite a bit of fun. Sunshine and Precious and Jimmy Garvin, good stuff. So happy birthday to Precious today. Born 1955. Grandmaster Flash, born 1958. Happy birthday to Grandmaster Flash. John Sullivan. Happy birthday to John Sullivan, born 1965. Vern Troyer. Happy birthday to Vern Troyer, born 1969. There you go. I like Vern Troyer. I saw a really funny video with him driving a car the other day, so that was pretty cool. Happy birthday to Jeff Carter. That's great. Jeff Carter, one of the greats in hockey. Jason Pierre-Paul, football player. Happy birthday to Jason. And Michael Witt. Happy birthday to Michael. Hopefully everyone who I did not name who is on Wikipedia, happy birthday to you as well. And there you go. Now, I do cover the deaths sometimes, like we'll talk about Louis XII of France, who died in 1515, because that's kind of a big deal. But a lot of them I don't cover. Donna Douglas from the Beverly Hillbillies died this day, 2015. Patty Page died 2013. I don't cover a lot of them. Because I don't want to talk all negative and talk about deaths, but sometimes I'll just bring up ones that I see here on the list, and we'll make it happen here on the Scott Show. This day in history. I don't see too many other ones. Bach died this day, 1782. So I think the further you go back in history, the kind of higher up the celebrity is, if you're covered on Wikipedia. So, it is the earliest day which Hansel Monday can fall, celebrated the first Monday of the year in Scotland. It is the last day of Kwanzaa. It is the 8th of the 12 days of Christmas. It's Constitution Day. It's Euro Day, Flag Day, Founding Day, Independence Day in Brunei, Cameroon, Haiti, and Sudan. It's Jump Up Day in Montserrat. It is National Bloody Mary Day. Second time I get to say this today. It's Polar Bear Swim Day. And it's Public Domain Day. And it's Triumph of the Revolution in Cuba. So we are going to get going here on this day in history. Thank you guys so very much. We almost went 20 minutes so far today. And we're going to have a great time talking about this day in history, including last year, 2017. As right now, we are in 2018 having a blast. Thank you guys so very much. We'll catch you here real soon on the Scott Show Podcast.